In this video, we're going to quickly connect DBeaver to our mySQL installation instance. To do this, we'll click on the connection icon located here. We'll select mySQL, click Next. Because our server is installed locally, we'll keep localhost and the port 3306 without changing it. For now, we're not going to change the database, and currently our connection is going to use root. Later on, we'll create a new user, which is the more appropriate way to access the database. Go ahead and enter the password you created for your database. And then we're going to click Test Connection. This will validate that the connection to the database is good. Click OK. Make sure you save your password locally, or you can enter it every time you want a connection. Click Finish. Now we have a connection. We'll click the drop down as you see here. We're logged in as root to localhost 3306. And here we have a database which is system. You may have more databases available to you depending on the installation steps you took. You also down here have the list of users, and these are the users that are created in the system. Next, go ahead and click SQL here at the top. Let's type the command show databases. Click the orange arrow to the right. What this shows us is it runs a query and selects the various databases that are listed on the system. You'll also know that this command is terminated with a semicolon. At the end of the line, let's hit enter, and we'll type create database nmc underscore example underscore 1 with a semicolon. We'll select that. We'll run our script again. And we can see that a new database was created. Let's rerun our script at the top. You can highlight it, right-click on it, and execute. And now we can see that NMC example was created. If we go over to the database list here, right-click on it, and click refresh, you'll notice now that a new database was added called NMC example 1. If we click the arrow to expand it, we'll see various options like tables, views, indexes, procedures, triggers, and events. If we click on tables, currently there is no table available. Okay, for this video, what I want you to do is create a new database, and you'll call it your name. I'll type Michael Rogers with a semicolon. I'm going to select it, right click, and execute. The database was created. Let's run our command to show databases again, and let's execute. And now we can see our databases that exist, which are information schema, Michael Rogers, mySQL, NMC example 1, performance underscore schema, and sys. The last thing we want to do here is create a basic table. To do this, we have to select a database that we'll use. The way we could do this is type use Michael Rogers semicolon. We'll execute this. And here I have an error. Maybe you see the error. I'm missing an L in my name. We'll correct the mistake. We'll rerun it. And now we're using that database. After selecting a database, let's create a table. We'll do this with the create command. We'll specify what we're creating by table, and we'll give it a name. We'll call it friends. We'll use a parenthesis, and at the end, we'll put a semicolon. Inside of it, I'll type ID, numeric, parenthesis, 6:0, close parenthesis, primary key, comma, first name, space, varchar, which is the data type we'll be using. We'll allow 20 characters. At the end, we'll put a comma. We'll type last name, varchar, again, 20 characters. And then finally, we'll add a detail. Close friend. We'll use a char, 1 character, and we'll store in that character either a Y or an N. At this point, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns for our table, defining what is in our friends table. I'll select it, right-click, and say Execute. If I go over to Databases again, right-click and refresh, we see Michael Rogers and one table called Friends. Next, let's insert a row of data. We'll type insert into friends space values, and we'll put inside a set of items that will be designated for each column. Because our primary key is numeric, we'll type 1. I'll use a single quote. I'll type a first name, comma, single quotes, last name, comma, single quote, and I'll type a Y for close friend. I'll put a semicolon at the end and click Execute. We see that we've inserted one row into our table. Now, you may be wondering, how do you view the values in a table? Here, we'll type select, and in this instance, I could type all of the column names that I want to see, or I could use a wildcard, which will reveal all of the columns. I'm going to type asterisk for the wildcard, select all from the name of the table, friends. DBeaver automatically gives me an alias name at the end. The alias here is the letter F that it creates for the table name. We'll talk more about aliases later. I'm going to select it, right-click, and do Execute. And here I have one row entered into my database.